Peter Cohen here from Holistic Cyber. I promise you one thing, in the next 6 minutes, I'm not going to drown you in overcrowded PowerPoint slides. What am I going to do? Let's simply get started. I see it a lot, the classic problem, overworked and under-budgeted InfoSec teams utterly exhausted from continual firefighting, moving from one crisis to another just to stay afloat. Sound familiar? Well, the question is, how can you move from a status of reactivity to taking control and implementing a proactive security stance where you get to dictate your own day and your own longer-term agenda? In a world of nation-state attacks and rising criminal capability, it can sometimes seem impossible. Well, the good news is it is possible. Security teams can and should drive their own agenda in a proactive way, and the basis of any program in achieving this, step one, if you like, is understanding what exactly we're trying to defend. Sounds simple, right? Well, you and I both know that unfortunately it's not. But getting this step right, really understanding what we're trying to defend, will provide the basis, the bedrock, as you can see behind me. Time and again, I see security teams really struggle with this, and instead of building on strong foundations, they end up building on quicksand, and just the slightest tremor can throw everything off. Let's bring this to life with an example. One of our customers, who has a global footprint and is a household name, actually has a very small security team. Now, historically, they'd not been a security-focused organization. Their DNA was all about creativity and growth, and they'd been very good at it. Security, however, was not the biggest priority. Now, the growth had been fueled both organically and by acquisitions, so new business units, whole new companies were brought into the organization. Now, these had different cultures, different business processes, which all served to add complexity. This all contributed to a generally chaotic environment, and one which really only maybe one or two people in the whole organization really understood, let alone anyone in IT. And for those in security, no chance. Now, as you can imagine, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, the security team spent most of their time putting out fires, working in an unstructured way. Now, it wasn't that they weren't capable, far from it. They just didn't have a plan or know exactly how security needed to improve and where. The foundations they needed to build on weren't solid enough, and so the plans kept getting thrown off track, and that's why we were brought in. At Holistic Cyber, we do a lot of security strategy work alongside our hands-on technical consulting. First things first, organizational mapping. Now, we had to identify all the business units that made up this organization. Thanks to the M&A I talked about earlier, this was not a trivial endeavor. Remember, maybe only one or two people in the whole organization really had clarity as to the entire span of the company. Now, if you don't know all the units, you don't know their purpose, it means you don't know their IT systems or how they're used. This is a huge, huge blind spot if you're a CISO or looking to understand and build a security posture. So organizational mapping is the first thing to do. And here we scaled the depth and granularity of the mapping to a level that was digestible to the company and, of course, to the small and very busy security team. It was really important to grasp this accurately. So we built an org chart that went down right to the IT environment level. Step two, looking at the controls. So here we started to understand the cybersecurity controls already implemented in each unit. So the process designs in each IT division, whether they were different or uniform across the company. And from here, we're able to start an accurate threat modeling exercise at an organizational level, which when applied to the more granular mapped IT environment, gave a pretty good idea of where to focus risk management activities in terms of specific business units. Now, this exercise served as a foundational reset for the security team to really focus their attentions on the parts of the business that were exposed to the most risk. And this helped gain the executive buy-in in order for them to pursue their own agenda in line with this rather than taking a reactive approach. So what was the outcome? And 1 year down the line, this approach has really paid off. Measurable security uplift and risk reduction in the areas that really matter. We knew executive buy-in was crucial to the success of the program, so we focused there. One of the things we pride ourselves on here is being able to take the customer's perspective into consideration and operate accordingly. For instance, how busy the people are. We always need to make sure that we give a deliverable that can actually be used, not a 100-page report that's going straight into the folder marked later. And this approach, alongside a careful balance of understanding the cyber challenges, the business context, and the threat landscape, made all the difference here. And as you can see behind me, I hope you're all now feeling quite zen. So look, I'm going to wrap it up there. The whole idea is around empowering security teams to take ownership of their own agenda and that the first step in this is effective organizational mapping to enable accurate threat modeling. Sounds simple, but as we've seen, as we all know, it really isn't. And if we don't get it right, then everything else we do is built on shifting sands. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Peter Cohen. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss any of this in more detail. You can find me on LinkedIn or contacting me via the Holistic Cyber website. Thanks for watching. See you next time.